let's watch the Actmans. Bungie is a terrible company. Apparently some people are doing, talking shit about Destiny 2 or some shit. I don't know. It's been going around.
This is the Actman here.
What are we even watching?
And today, guess what? More video game industry layoffs. Hooray! I hate it when people who make the thing I love have a job to keep making the thing I love. Recently, Bungie announced after their latest
I can't believe people were celebrating about more game layoffs. Guys, that's bad, remember?
Expansion that was quite a success, that unfortunately it wasn't successful enough, and they're gonna have to eliminate 220 roles at Bungie. I brought a special guest on.
Go back, what was their statement on it? This morning we shared an important update with the Bungie team on the difficulties in Bungie. You can read the full statement below, yeah. YouTube, Actman, yeah. Yeah. Destiny 2 is almost done, isn't it? Like, they're not adding more?
I brought a special guest on with me today to talk about this subject, except his fucking shoe came off. Okay. Say hi to everybody, Zavala. Guardian, this is fucking cringe. I can't believe Bungie is being a shithole company once again. Yeah, you said it. And the worst thing about it, they haven't even offered us more guns to compensate. Can you believe this? Maybe if they said we could get 6
exactly.
guns.
A lot of them are trying to also bring in AI too. Voice actors have striked. So game production is going to come to a halt, honestly, because even voice actors have striked because they're trying to get the right to their voices to say whatever they want. And the voice actor's like, bro, no. Like, womp womp. Yeah, but womp womp. But I understand where they're coming from.
Maybe I would be okay with it. So let's read the article they posted. The new path for Bungie. Oh, written 7 hours ago by Pete Parsons. You know what's funny about him? Oh, his Twitter account is protected. Oh, yeah, sorry guys. I don't want to take any flack for the 220 people I'm laying off.
Is that why script writing is dog shit? Because they're using AI?
Oh, what's this? Bungie CEO seemingly spent over
I'm actually a partner with First Descendant, but I actually have not played it since this came out. I'm like partnered with them. We should play it.
$3 million on classic cars after Sony acquisition. Interesting.
Final Descendant,
we'll get to all this in a bit. But this morning, I'm sharing with all of you some of the most difficult changes we've ever had to make as a studio. Due to rising costs of development and industry shifts, as well as enduring economic conditions, it's become clear that we need to make substantial changes to our cost structure and focus development efforts entirely on Destiny and Marathon. That means beginning today, 220 of our roles will be eliminated, representing roughly 17% of our studio's workforce. I like the word eliminated. Like they've all just been fucking shot and assassinated.
They have been kicked out of the gulag, guys. Their families may be starting, but they just not Sigma enough.
I'm getting real fucking sick of game developers and publishers whenever they have to announce layoffs because they can't fucking manage their own brand expectations and development costs. I'm getting so sick of the fake, like, oh, this was so hard for us, guys. It's like they're trying to convince you.
Yeah, most of the time it's budgeting fuck-ups. There are some small companies that definitely just don't make enough, but like these big ones, they did not budget to save their fucking life. What are the accountants doing?
This is done for anything but greed. Greed from the higher executives. How successful was the last expansion? Well, 2 months ago, this Reddit post says, the Final Shape pre-orders pass 1 million after more than doubling during Into the Light. I think that was the last expansion. How 2 months later do you find yourself in a position?
They put in, it's like the McDonald's thing. If they don't hit their projected increase in revenue of like 12 to 18%, they're a failure. It's like, but you increased by 12 to 18% the last increase. And it's like, fails. It's like, what the fuck is that logic? Game last year? Yeah, Destiny, yeah. I saw all those guys going, look, our boycott against DII has, like, ruined Destiny 2, even though they made a fuck ton of money. It does nothing. Boycotts do nothing, no matter what side, almost. Like, God.
Where you have at least 1 million pre-orders, and suddenly, like, you have to lay people off, like, 2 months later. What's this? Why is it always after, like, some kind of record-breaking or you know, surge in success and growth that we always see layoffs right afterwards, because people like Pete Parsons are fucking greedy, shifty bastards. Destiny 2 player numbers and sales.
I would say some people getting fired can also be, they don't have work for them anymore also, but not to that amount of like 200 people for experts, I think. Sorry guys, we spent too much on bad game, and now we're going to help projects while bring us alternative sources of revenue. What? But Destiny 2 wasn't a bad game. It made tons of money. What do you mean a bad game? Juice personality Destiny is pretty fun. Yeah, it just has a lot of DLC is at what most people complain about Destiny, and that's about it. Hey Von Strath, welcome in. Thanks for the follow.
Are rocketing up ahead of the final shape.
A lot of people love Destiny too.
2 months later, sorry, it's too expensive. God, you are such a fucking snake. Dropping the news that you've laid off 220 people in a second round of layoffs. A second round, yeah, not just the first. After launching your most successful DLC to date and then going private immediately is cowardice on an embarrassing level. Fuck Pete Parsons, man. This fucking guy has destroyed Bungie.
Sir, permission to leave the station.
For what purpose, Master Chief?
To screw over Bungie and fire 220 employees.
Permission granted.
I wish you had the same attitude towards racism and social injustice as you do your own fucking employees. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, that's not what people have talked about in the gaming industry. There's no loyalty to your employees. Like, old school Blizzard, someone talked about how their dad worked there for like 30 to 40 years. You don't get that anymore. They want to talk about loyalty from employees, but brands and companies are not loyal to their workers either. They aren't looking for long-term workers. They're looking for profits. It's like, bro.
Fake can one person be? These actions will affect every level of the company, including most of our executive and leadership roles. Oh, I bet you guys are gonna take a pay cut. Oh yeah. Are you guys going to be laying off the people who made the decisions to lay off everybody else?
Yeah, that is a huge problem in general in almost every single field, is most people do not feel secure in their job.
Fuck, his shoe keeps coming off. Guardian, today is a difficult and painful day, especially for our departing colleagues, all of which have made important and valuable contributions to Bungie, which we no longer care about or value. Sorry, dipshits. Our goal is to support them with the utmost care and respect. They will each be receiving 2 bright engrams as payment for leave. For everyone affected by this job reduction, we will be offering a generous exit package, including severance, bonus, and health coverage. Well, I suppose that's actually good that you did the bare fucking minimum. I realize all of this is hard news, especially following the greatest success we have seen with the final shape. Golly gee, it sure—
Loyalty? Where? At least he's not Bobby.
It was a lot of fun. Have you purchased any bright engrams yet? I don't know if they're still selling those. But as we've navigated the broader economic realities over the last year, and after exhausting all other mitigation options, this has become a necessary decision to refocus our studio and our business with more realistic goals and viable financials. I love how exhausting all other mitigation options, except taking the hit yourself. What? That's not an option. We can't lose money. Ever, for any reason. Once again, pointing to the example of Satoru Iwata, who took a massive pay cut during the financial disaster of the Wii U to keep employees.
Exactly. See, this is a big point with politicians too, is it's like so many countries are in almost financial disaster, but most politicians still raised their wage this year. And it's so funny, it's the only time all of them show up, and it's like, bro, you ever think in this financial disaster, you, the rich millionaire, shouldn't get as much money? Like, you fucking Christ.
Around so they can continue working and not feel threatened by lack of job security. This move panned out and resulted in the Switch becoming a massive success because people didn't have to fear for their jobs. It's like Western game industry executives are so fucking greedy they can't see this prime example of how someone like Satoru Iwata can take a bad situation, invest in people, and then see that investment just radically fucking pay off. Also,
like, I feel like Japanese countries see a lot about like legacy and long term, but so many companies have such short term like views. It's
fake
ridiculous.
bullshit of it's a difficult and painful day. You don't give a fuck, bro. If you gave a fuck, you guys wouldn't keep laying people off. If it was such a difficult decision, what do you have to say about this, Zavala? Guardian, if it was such a difficult decision, then why in the name of my bright blue balls do you keep fucking making it? Well said, Zavala. Couldn't agree more.
You wanted to take the fun out of gaming? What? Well, Australians MP have the luxury of being millionaires? Yeah, but still, they don't need... If most people are struggling to buy things, they don't need to raise their money again. Like, why did they need to... We don't even get increases in wages. I just walked into work and was given a pink slip at the door security, then watched us pack up a desk. Damn, how long were you with them? What assholes?
We're committing to 2 other major changes today that we believe will support our focus, leverage Sony's strengths, and create new opportunities for Bungie talent. First, we are deepening our integration with Sony Interactive Entertainment, working to integrate 155 of our roles, roughly 20%.
They sound like absolute cunt slap, honestly. Absolute arsehole. Damn it!
Over the next few quarters, SIA has worked out, enabling us together to save a great deal of talent that would otherwise have been affected by the reduction in force. Well, at least you were able to save some people, right? Second, we are working with PlayStation Studios leadership to spin out one of our incubation projects, an action game set in a brand new science fantasy universe, to form a new studio with PlayStation Studios to continue its promising development. Isn't this funny? Didn't Microsoft announce something similar after they shut down Tango Gameworks? Arcane Austin? Wasn't it almost immediately followed by another announcement that a new studio was being made? This will be a time of tremendous change for our studio. Let's unpack how we ended up in this position. It's important to understand how we got here. First off, I'm a greedy asshole, and so is Jason Jones.
How did we get here? I'm a greedy asshole. Very true. A lot of problems come from greed. Greed. Return back to the deadly sins.
Don't give a shit about our employees, as we've demonstrated over many years. In fact, we give even less of a shit about our player base. This is really weird for him to be writing all of this. You see, it turns out all we care about is money, and go fuck yourselves. It seems like management didn't even tell some of these staff they were losing their jobs before posting it up on.
Whoa, they didn't even tell them. What assholes. But yeah, I agree, most growth doesn't last because people don't have the same mindset.
On here, not the first time we've heard that a similar thing happening. This is how I found out I'm laid off. Dude, Bungie are so fucking terrible. For over 5 years, it has been our goal to ship games in 3 enduring global franchises. To realize that ambition, we set up several incubation projects, each seeded with senior development leaders from our existing teams. We eventually realized that this model stretched our talent too thin too quickly. It also forced our studio support structures to scale to a larger level than we could realistically support. It sounds like the solution to your problem might be to hire more staff. Guardian, you're talking fucking crazy right now. Hire more people, it's going to cost money. Where's my money?
I'm here for money. Money.
If you're not spending money and laying off your employees, then you're not having fun. Additionally, in 2023, our rapid expansion read headlong into a broad economic slowdown. A sharp downturn in the game industry. Man, if only there was a video that also talked about this exact same thing and predicted it yet again. Wow, it's almost like rapid expansion is not a good idea for long-term success.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, rapid expansion isn't great. You're pushed to expand as quickly as possible, but it's risky as fuck. I would say finding out on Twitter is worse than finding out on Zoom. If I had to pick, I think Zoom is at least a little bit in the right direction there.
Yes, until you can know that you can sustain that expansion. And you guys recently released an expansion. It's like, does he think anybody buys this? Like, how stupid do you think people are, Pete Parsons? Our quality miss with Destiny 2 Lightfall and the need to give both the Final Shape and Marathon the time needed to ensure both projects deliver.
100%, I think a lot of these things is the companies thinking people are stupid. Honestly.
The quality our players expect and deserve. We were overly ambitious, our financial safety margins were subsequently exceeded, and we began running in the red. That's your problem! You're the fucking CEO! That's for you, take the hit, not your employees. How can you take this?
I think both honestly suck. Like, both suck. Like, I would hate to find out on Twitter, but I would hate having to drive into work and then tell me, it's like, bro, phone call. Like, could have saved me this drive.
any other way.
But to be fair, the idea of going to work on a holiday is very odd too, because in Australia, most people, unless you're like work at a shopping center, don't work on Christmas Eve, so
Then that
in itself, oddly, bro, like, what the fuck?
saying leadership fucked up, and that all the hardworking employees on the ground are suffering the consequences of that. But Guardian, we were losing money and we weren't having fun. After this new trajectory became clear, we knew we had to change our course and speed, and we did everything we could to avoid today's outcome, except taking the hit ourselves. That's out of the question. What you want me to sacrifice part of my pay cut? What about my money?
Money.
Even with exhaustive efforts undertaken across our leadership and product
It's crazy how many people actually think like this. If it doesn't affect them, it's completely fine. It's insane.
to resolve our financial challenges, such as things I won't fucking specify because this was our first option most likely, these steps were simply not enough. As a result, today we must say goodbye to incredible talent, colleagues, and friends. This will be a challenging time at Bungie that I have thrust them into. Because once again, I'm a greedy asshole and my name is Pete Parsons, and we'll need to help our teams navigate these changes in the weeks and months ahead. This will be a hard week, and we know our team will need time to process, to ask questions, and to absorb this news. Today and over the next several weeks, we will host team meetings and town halls, blah, 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 to ensure we are keeping our communication open and transparent. Like you did with that guy who just found out he got laid off through fucking Twitter. Bungie will continue to make great games. We still have over 850 team members who are now going to be wondering when they will
do this so much. All the big AAA companies do this.
Be laid off. We hope this pressure in threatening their job security will make Destiny and Marathon better games.
That's the thing. Companies get too big, their soul just leaves their body.
And we will continue to build amazing experiences that exceed our players' expectations. There will be time to talk about our goals and projects, but today is not that day. Today, our focus is on supporting our people. Wow, so this is one of the worst announcements/posts I've seen announcing layoffs. Like, the logic is, it's just happened way too many times like this that it's the boy who cried wolf, you know, oh, it's so hard, it's such a hard decision, can't believe we had to do this, but we keep making this decision again. You know, don't look into it too much. Don't look into any patterns with our history of layoffs and greed. Just don't do it. Bungie CEO seemingly spent over 2.3 million. Following the sale of Destiny 2 for a whopping 3.6 billion in 2022. 3.6 billion, by the way. Billion with a B. Bungie CEO Pete Parsons purchased over 20 classic.
Yeah, definitely. No, I understand what you're saying, Kev. Yeah, I agree. We got a lot of lockdowns here, but they mainly locked down the unnecessary jobs first and then went down from there. You know, people who could work from home, etc.
Cars in online auctions costing millions of dollars. Hey, you know what? That's fine.
Okay, night,
as long
as have a good night, homie.
You don't lay off your staff. I'm fine with that.
Or go to work.
You made a valuable product, you sold it for a lot of money, you should be rewarded. According to his account on the website, he continued buying them even after mass layoffs at the studio. Yeah, Parsons has been an executive for over 2 decades, has faced lots of public criticism over the last year for Bungie's struggles around the evolution of Destiny 2 and leadership decisions that led 100 staff to be laid off last October. A tweet from the CEO thanking those for their contribution to the company was accused of being tone deaf at the time. Destiny 2 players ridicule Bungie's. Yeah, fuck this guy. Yeah, look at this same shit. Today is a sad day at Bungie as we say goodbye to colleagues who have all made a significant impact on our studio. Wait, is his account not private? Did I just get fooled by fake news? Is Pete Parsons' account not private? Oh well, the jokes were funny. And how many executives were let go? Oh, none? Of course not. They obviously don't cost the company money in salary, perks, and other compensation at a rate of often dozens of times what a mid-level employee does. Destiny developer cuts 220 staff. Some of the most difficult changes
it's not tinfoil hat times. They're bringing tinfoil hat
we've ever had to make as a studio. The 220 layoffs come alongside the integration of an additional 155 roles, or 12% of Bungie's workforce, into parent company Sony Interactive over the next few quarters. Parsons said this move saves a great deal of talent that would otherwise have been affected by the reduction in force. That suggests that if Sony hadn't taken on these 155 roles, 375 staff would have lost their jobs today, and that the actual reduction in workforce will be substantially more than 17%. There are also internal fears and rumors that layoffs would immediately follow the release of the final shape, with one source saying nothing adds up and something will need to happen to curb costs unless the final shape does so well to cover the gap and people can move to Marathon. Unfortunately, those fears have now been realized. I get that businesses have to make money, but you can also take a hit to keep your employees. Sometimes that is the correct business move. Bungie has found itself rocked
tinfoil? Hey, tinfoil isn't even that dear.
By a number of major shakeups in recent years that have tanked morale at the studio and left its future uncertain. But Bungie has struggled to meet key financial targets, with Destiny 2 significantly underperforming last year. In October, Bungie laid off roughly 100 of its then 1,200 employees amid greater cost-cutting measures that saw Marathon delayed to 2025 and employee benefits slashed, further damaging the mood internally. At some point, you have to prioritize your employees and morale, because they are the people who make the products that make your company survive and make money. I mean, I operate on a much smaller level, of course, but when my editors make really good content for me, and I'm happy with it, I pay them what they want and what they ask for.
It puts the lotion on its skin.
I keep them around. I keep giving them work because it's a mutually beneficial relationship. And what Bungie has done and continues to do for what seems like forever at this point is always prioritize money and leadership and the safety of their executives over the safety of their employees. It doesn't breed a good working environment when so many people have to continue doing their job, wondering if they should also be looking for a backup job. You know what I mean? So Bungie's a fucking terrible company, man.
Exactly. If you employ someone full-time and they need a part-time job to get by, bro, that doesn't help you because they're doing their job worse because they have to work so much to survive.
If you were to tell me this stuff back in 2010 that this is what they would move on to do, I would have not believed you. I don't think I could have been convinced that I would despise Bungie as much as I do today. So yeah, Pete Parsons is a fucking dickhead, and he sucks. Hope he gets out of Bungie and replaced with someone who actually gives a shit about his employees. But what do you think? Did you try the final shape? What did you think of it? Let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comments below. Like the video if you enjoyed it, and subscribe to the Act Man for more awesome content. Alright everyone, that's all I got for today. This is the Act Man signing out. Peace!
That is the thing, like, a lot of people talk about. CEOs aren't usually, they're just grabbed from wherever, and they just are all about making money and keeping costs low. They're business majors, if that makes sense.